Every time you sign an insurance policy, you're actually stepping into a world that's been shaped by a legal philosophy hundreds of years old. And what's wild is that most of us don't realize there are two completely different worlds, two totally separate ways of thinking about what an insurance contract even is. And it all really boils down to this one simple question. Who is the contract for? Is it for the person paying the bills? The person who's actually covered? Well, as we're about to find out, the answer completely depends on which of these legal worlds your policy happens to live in. But, okay, before we dive into the big disagreement, let's start with what both sides actually agree on, because there are some core ideas about insurance that are pretty much universal, no matter where you go. So both of these legal systems are built on what you could call four main pillars. First up, you've got risk transfer and pooling. That's just the basic idea of taking a risk from one person and spreading it out across a whole bunch of people. Then there's indemnification, which means the goal is to make you whole after a loss, not to make you richer. Third, we have insurable interest. This just means you can only insure something if you'd actually take a financial hit if it were damaged. And finally, utmost good faith. This means a much higher standard of honesty is expected from everyone involved. So that's our common ground. All right, now that we have that foundation, let's get to the real heart of the conflict. It's a disagreement that is so fundamental, it literally changes everything that comes after. And it all comes down to a really simple question. In this relationship, are we dealing with two main actors, or are we dealing with three? And this is where you can really see the split. On one side, you have the common law system, which loves a simple two-factor approach. And on the other side, you've got the civil law system, which insists on a three-factor approach. This one little difference in structure creates two parallel universes for insurance law. So first, let's look at the common law view. The best way to think about it is like a simple two-person play. Your main characters are the policyholder, that's the person signing the check, and the insurer. And really, the spotlight is on the policyholder. If that person also happens to be the one who's being insured, well, that separate role of insured just kind of gets absorbed into the policyholder role. In this world, the contract signer is king. Now let's talk about the civil law system. This is more like a three-person play, and it has a very precise script. It strictly separates the roles. You have the policyholder, who pays, the insured, who is covered, and, of course, the insurer. And here is the absolute key. Even if it's the same person filling both the policyholder and the insured roles, the law still sees them as playing two totally distinct legal parts. There's no marging, no absorption. Each role is kept sacred and separate. So who cares, right? How does this abstract difference actually affect you? Well, let's make it real. Let's talk about something we all get, property insurance for your house or your car. So picture this. You go out and get a policy for your house. But what did you actually insure? The physical bricks and the roof? Or is it something else entirely? Well, the answer depends completely on which legal play we're watching. Common law is pretty direct about it. You're insuring the property itself, the actual house. This makes the contract really personal, and it's tied directly to you, the owner, which means you can't just sell the house and assume the insurance automatically goes to the new guy. But civil law, it's way more abstract. It says you're not insuring the house, you're insuring your financial interest in the house. It sounds subtle, but trust me, it's a massive philosophical difference. Okay, so that's how the two worlds deal with physical objects. But what happens when the thing being insured isn't a thing at all, but a person's life? Well, this is where the two philosophies diverge even more dramatically. I mean, think about it. The basic idea of insurance, compensating for a financial loss, doesn't really work with a human life. You can't put a price tag on a life to make someone whole again. So both legal systems had to invent some special exceptions just to handle it. And just look at how differently each system approaches this. Common law calls it a valued policy, which is basically a pre-agreed payout, because, you can't calculate the loss of a life. The beneficiary is a key part of this whole relationship right from the start. But in the super strict civil law system, it's called fixed sum insurance. And get this, it's the only type of insurance that even formally recognizes the idea of a beneficiary. For everything else, it just sees the policyholder telling the insurer where to send the check. This also means a common law life policy can often be bought and sold almost like a stock, while a civil law policy, it's way more locked down. So, after all these examples, this whole complicated topic can really be boiled down to one simple, powerful takeaway. What's the one thing you really need to remember from all this? Here it is. This is the core conflict in a nutshell. The common law world is pragmatic. It's all about the person who actually signed the contract, the policyholder. But the civil law world, it's logical. It's systematic. Its focus is on keeping the legal roles of everyone involved clean and separate. It's one type of contract seen through two completely different philosophies. So the next time you look at your own insurance policy, ask yourself, are you just the person paying the bill? Are you the one being protected? Or, in the eyes of the law, are you maybe playing multiple, distinct roles all at the same time? It's a question that really gets to the very heart of what your insurance is all about.